Denver 7 On Demand is brought to you by Ferguson and BAC Appliance Center, the best in bath, kitchen, and lighting for your home.
I'm Ann Trujillo, and here's the latest now from Denver 7. The 2019 legislative session ends tonight. Yes, lawmakers have until midnight to pass, tweak, or prevent several major changes to Colorado law. Denver 7's Jennifer Kovaleski explains the bills that got the most attention this session and the money trail behind them.
With the clock on the legislative session ticking,
I urge an aye vote for House Bill 1333.
This late-night Senate vote,
all those in favor, please stand,
is what killed the nicotine tax bill.
All those opposed,
it was the people who didn't stand up and support.
That bill is lost.
Senator Rhonda Fields says she was blindsided.
I was really surprised and taken back by the vote count.
9 of her fellow Democrats voted no, killing her legislation. The bill would have asked Colorado voters to approve a new cigarette and nicotine tax.
Money always plays in politics.
And Big Tobacco's money did talk, even before the bill was introduced. Records show Altria, which owns Philip Morris and has a stake in the vape brand Juul, began launching its attack.
They lobbied and pressured people really hard.
House Sponsor Representative Yadira Caravaro says the tobacco lobby pulled out all the stops. No blank checks for Colorado, paid for by Altria, launched a website, Twitter account, and Facebook page to rally people against the bill.
They have just about unlimited resources, and they dump them all into the Capitol in order to try to stop this from going to the people, and they succeeded at that.
Facebook's new transparency tools show Altria spent thousands of dollars to flood news feeds with 60 sponsored ads in the 6 days before the vote. It also hired several high-paid lobbyists. Well, the e-cigarette trade group, Vapor Technology Association, wrote a check for at least $9,000 to fund its own lobbying team.
That's just the way the system is set up. That's just the way it goes down here.
Meanwhile, Senate Republicans celebrated the bill's defeat, writing in a statement, the governor's 11th hour tobacco and vaping tax proposal met the fate it deserved today. Republicans want to combat teen vaping without attacking those using e-cigs.
While it is always disappointing, I think we're all focused on the vaping epidemic, and this won't be the last time that it comes up.
That was Jennifer Kovaleski reporting. Now, Governor Polis, who rallied in favor of this measure, called the decision disappointing and says the measure would have helped reduce our state's staggering rates of teen vaping. Money raised from the tax would have been split between early childhood education and health care. The president of the Cherry Creek School Board has resigned after using a racial slur during a teacher awards banquet. David Willman first became defensive and then later apologized for using a derogatory term for African Americans earlier this week. Today, the superintendent revealed that Willman was no longer on the board. Prosecutors are throwing the book at the truck driver blamed in last week's horrific crash on I-70. Until this morning, Rogel Aguilera Mederos was being held on investigation of 4 counts of vehicular homicide. Well, today, they added 36 charges that include assault, attempted assault, and violent crime. Aguilera Mederos told police his brakes gave out and that he was only driving 45 miles an hour at the time. Witnesses captured him swerving and rapidly gaining speed as he headed downhill, at one point driving right past an emergency exit for out-of-control trucks. Then, seeing another truck pull to the side of the road, he chose to swerve back into traffic that was backed up before him.
Mr. Aguilera, under circumstances manifesting an extreme indifference to the value of human life, engaged in conduct, knowingly engaged in conduct that created a grave risk of death or serious bodily injury.
The DA's office said today they intend to put Aguilera Mederos behind bars for many years. His attorney called the charges against his client, quote, prosecutorial overkill. Another reminder tonight of the toll Kelsey Barrett's death has taken on her community. We now know the city of Woodland Park spent $80,000 to search a landfill for the missing mom's remains. That search lasted 51 days, involving the time and manpower of 200 people from 40 different agencies. And in the end, no evidence was recovered. The teenager who stabbed a young Longmont woman to death will spend the rest of his life in prison. 20-year-old Michaela Grote was found dead in front of her apartment building in November of 2017. At the time, her attacker, Aiden Von Graybow, was only 15 years old. An investigation would later show he had compiled a list of people he wanted to hurt. And prosecutors believed he may have been looking for Grote's younger sister, but found her instead. As part of a plea deal, he will be allowed to remain in a youth services facility until he turns 21. He will also be eligible for parole after 40 years have passed. Tributes were held today in honor of 4 Colorado officers killed in the line of duty. Now etched into the Colorado Law Enforcement Memorial are the names of Adams County Deputy Heath Gump, Las Animas Deputy Matthew Moreno, El Paso County Deputy Micah Flick, and Littleton Police Officer Kevin Denner. Gum, Flick, Moreno, they all lost their lives last year. Denner was killed in 2013 by a drunk driver. Cinco de Mayo is on Sunday, and in addition to all the fun, that means heavy traffic on Federal Boulevard and several road closures all weekend. Denver police say they will barricade side streets to control traffic and could also restrict traffic crossings of Federal to 5 major intersections at Louisiana, Mississippi, Kentucky, Alameda, and US 6. Police warn they will issue tickets for loud car stereos and excessive honking. Tonight, there is an entirely different kind of party happening in the Elyria-Swansea neighborhood. They're throwing a celebration in honor and perhaps in memory of their community's identity. Denver 7's Liz Gilardi explains.
A neighborhood bond being threatened.
Por nuestra comunidad.
And for that reason, we're here today fighting for the well-being of our neighborhood.
Down the street from the celebration, the yellow sign on this fence signals the change that's ahead. A developer is eyeing this former AT&T site for a mixed-use apartment building here in Elyria-Swansea, a marginalized neighborhood struggling with a city that's growing more expensive and constant construction nearby on I-70. Community organizer Robin Reichart is translating for Mercedes Gonzalez.
She's lived in 5 Points for 25 years and was displaced about 6 months ago.
The fear is this new development could do the same.
If we know that development causes mass displacement, what are you going to do about it?
As City Council considers the rezoning proposal, Islo Development provided us a list of ways they're giving back to the community. Building a 45,000 square foot performing arts center for a local dance company. Using 2 acres of public open space for a community playground. Hiring local construction workers and making sure 70 units will be dedicated to affordable housing. But even with those affordable units, opponents don't believe it will be affordable to people living here.
And we know from our survey 3 years ago that 88% of the homes in this neighborhood don't earn enough to pay the average cost of rent in Denver.
That was Denver 7's Liz Gilardi reporting for us. A coalition of neighbors and neighborhood organizations voted last night. They are opposing the rezoning because they don't feel it's the right fit for their neighborhood. And City Council is set to vote on this proposed zoning change on Monday. Now, do you know someone struggling because of growth in our Colorado? How about benefiting? Send us your stories by emailing us at ourco@thedenverchannel.com. And now from the First Alert Weather Center, here is Stacey Donaldson.
Beautiful weather in store for us this weekend. Lots of sunshine. Temperatures progressively getting warmer into the beginning of the week. We'll have 72 Saturday, 75 on Sunday, and then 77 on Monday. It'll be warm and windy, but we are going to drop into the 50s on Tuesday. Another cold front coming through, so we'll have some rain Tuesday, changing to rain and snow Wednesday into Thursday. So we'll have more showers through Thursday afternoon, and then cloudy skies on Friday, drying things out a little bit with highs in the low 50s.
Thank you, Stacey, and this has been your Denver 7 On Demand update. Thank you so much for joining us, and check back here later tonight for another update, and download the Denver 7 app for breaking news and alerts. I'm Ann Trujillo.